Hello, family, and good to see you again. This is the word for the week. Our word today is from Genesis 22, verse 9 to 14, which says, Then they came to the place of which God had told them. And Abraham built an altar there and placed the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son, and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched out his hand and took the knife to slay his son. But the angel of the Lord called to him from heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. So he said, Here I am. And he said, Do not lay your hand on the lad, or do anything to him. For now I know that you fear God, and since you have not withheld your son, your only son, from me. Then Abraham lifted his eyes and looked, and there behind him was a ram caught in a thicket by its horns. So Abraham went and took the ram and offered it up for a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of the place, The Lord will provide, as it is said to this day, In the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. This week I want you to be encouraged and know that the Lord will provide. You know, Abraham was thinking he was about to lose his son, and he may have been grieving. But his son asked him earlier, Where is the lamb for the sacrifice? And Abraham prophetically said, without knowing he was being prophetic, The Lord shall provide for himself the ram for the sacrifice. Now, when they got on the mountain and God stopped him, remember the Bible says, Abraham lifted his eyes and saw a ram caught in the thicket. Now all this happened on the mountain of the Lord. First thing I want you to know is that on the mount of the Lord, there is provision. The Lord provided the ram for the sacrifice in place of Isaac. On the mount of the Lord, there's revelation for the provision. God opened Abraham's eyes to the ram. You see, that ram was there all the while, but Abraham never saw it until he was on the mount of the Lord, obeying the voice of the Lord. Now you may be here wondering, where is my provision going to come from? How am I going to have my needs met? Listen, my brother, my sister, on the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. Go up to the mountain of God. Go up into the presence of God. Jeremiah 33 verse 3, God says there, Call to me and I will answer you and show you great and mighty things which you do not know. So this is the key. Every day, go into the presence of the Lord. Go up to the mount of the Lord through prayer. You will find revelation. You will find provision that you need. The Bible says in 2 Corinthians 9:8 that God is able to make all grace abound to you, so that in all things and at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good deed. God's got you. God has your back. God will provide for you, but make sure you make it up on the mountain. There you will receive revelation for the provision, and you will see the provision. The Lord is with you. God bless you. Till we see you again next week.